So do you go? Is it DJ Chris?
Yeah.
Chris Lutz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just DJ Chris Lutz.
All right. Not to be confused with Chris Lutz.
Which
That's a
some of the
different
bars
person.
I work at actually will mess with me sometimes and put my name like CHRI space SLUTZ, and I'm like, man, come on, DJ Chris Lutz. So,
Crying sluts?
dude,
Yeah.
I know I get it a lot.
What is it? OnlyFans. It sounds like a
DJ
sounds like
Naked.
a thing.
It's a monetization path.
Yes, it is. Welcome to the Fashion DJ Podcast. I'm your host, Mo Dingo, and with me always is the self-identified, oldest millennial?
I am the oldest millennial. David Michael.
And the original, one of the OGs of the 937, Tony DeSaro.
What up?
And with us this week is DJ Chris Lutz.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me.
Well,
Appreciate it.
I mean, it's been a long time. You should have been on the show like forever ago, but
I
you're
know.
kind of a busy dude, though.
Yeah, I work, let's see here, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday now, so at least 5 days a week.
Yeah, because I see you on socials. You're playing here, you're playing there, but before we get too far into it, why don't you go and drop your socials and tell everybody a little bit about who you are.
Okay, socials are just at DJ Chris Lutz. It's just my name. Lutz is how you spell the last name, for anybody wondering. So pretty much who I am. You want me to tell my age?
It's up to
A
you.
lot of people think I'm 17. I'm really 32 years of age. I've been DJing since I was 20, so going on just about 12 years now. And started DJing when I was 20. I was actually in Sinclair Community College, going through their
DJ program?
No, God, no.
Okay.
They don't even have one. And if they did, this man would probably be running it. No, I actually went to school for machining,
Okay.
Oh,
which,
cool.
yeah, dumbest idea I've ever had in my entire life.
Haven't been using that so much.
No, God, no. I mean, growing up, I bounced around jobs. I worked for PetSmart, Buffalo Wild Wings, Red Robin. I've never been able to stick with a job. Well, growing up, my dad was a machinist for several years.
Okay.
So I was just kind of like following his footsteps because that's all I really knew.
Yeah, for sure.
But then my junior year of college, I guess you could call it, at a community college.
The Victory Lap?
I started hanging out at the local bar area. That's actually where I met Emily at. But
Okay.
it was Adobe Gillas up at the Green.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the DJs there was kind of talking to my cousin, and I was talking to him, and he's like, hey, the wedding company that I work for, he was like, we're hiring. Do you want to be a wedding DJ? And I'm like, well, at high school parties, I always had the iPod and the aux cord.
Mhm.
So I was like, I'll give it a try.
That's how it all starts.
And then I got
the
in this-
gateway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then I jumped into this professional, which scared the shit out of me, by the way.
Mhm.
My first wedding ever was at Country Club of the North.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh, super
Yeah.
fancy. And I'm panicking.
Were you by yourself?
No, God, no. That's the cool
Okay.
part about that company I work for, which we could talk more about that
For
in
sure.
a little bit. But there was 3 of us there, actually.
Mhm.
An MC, a DJ, and then the guy training me.
Okay.
So, but that was my first wedding. So that's how I got into DJing and started working at the bars where I met my beautiful wife, Emily,
Mhm.
which half of you guys know. Do you know her? Oh, yeah, you met her a few times.
Yeah, CrossFit.
David doesn't know her. But yeah, she's pretty awesome.
I'm sure she's lovely.
Yeah, but Tony's known her for a long time. So that's kind of where I met her. And then since then, we got married. We're on our second house. We foster dogs. We have 2 of our own.
Mhm.
You're not allowed to meet my wife. Our wives are not allowed to meet.
Yeah, for sure. Same with mine. Yeah.
We'll all end up with 27 dogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
50-11 foster dogs.
By the end of the week, we will own a mansion and just 32
Nothing but
kids.
dogs.
Here we
Dog
go.
compound. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at now. Just trying to stay busy. I did want to be this big time DJ. I did want to play festivals. I still do want to play festivals, but I wanted to be this big guy. But then social media kind of scared me a little bit. Just because
How so?
if you read the comments, Tony's an OG here. He can do a mix, and somebody's gonna hate on him in the comments, and it's just do I really want that life? I hate negative.
I see.
I hate negative stuff.
That's fair.
And I try to avoid it at all costs. And I don't know. I'm just more content with making good money and making a good income to have a good life. And so far that's going pretty good.
I totally get that because it's kind of a similar thing with Passionate DJ, right? We've actually been really lucky in this department where our audience is really cool, 99% of the time, and we almost never get negative comments. And when we do, it's it'll be on a YouTube video for something that's search engine heavy, like you know,
a gear review
or something like. So it's not our normal
Exactly,
followers. It's just a rando.
Now during COVID, I was doing live streams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I got nothing but like 100% positive, like until Facebook wanted to shut me down, of course.
And everybody else that was streaming.
Yes.
But I get it because like if you get a constant barrage of even 50-50 or you know 80-20, you know, positive to negative comments, I mean that it's just a constant source of anxiety.
Exactly. Yeah,
You
it's
know?
like a heart attack waiting to happen.
Yeah,
Like,
and it really it takes more than that 80% for some people to balance out that negative.
and most of today's like social media there's a lot of trolls out there.
Yeah,
I have a couple friends that would just start fights with people, which I don't even consider my friends, but you know, like they just do it to have fun. And I just like, perfect point right here. It's like 2 days ago, I woke up to someone tagged me in one of my pictures I posted at a bar. It was just my Rain 12s and some guy in the background going like this or something like that. And they said the bar's name. I'm not going to say it, but then they were like, ha ha ha, and like middle fingers. What a terrible place. And I'm like, I've never even seen you in this bar. And there's only like maybe like 50 people that go in this bar every week. And I'm like, dude, I won't appreciate like that. Like, you don't know me, I don't know you. Like, any more negative stuff, I'm just going to ban you. He's like, go ahead. And he said some other stuff. I'm like, dude, like, he just woke up and chose violence. And I was like, man, like, what did I do to you? Like, but that's the negative stuff I'm talking about. It's just like that little thing just like pretty much ruined my day. And I'm like, man, like, come on.
That's one reason why I haven't played out since 2017. Is because all of that. It gives me anxiety.
Dude, yeah, it freaks me out.
And it's so bad now. I mean, post COVID or whatever you want to say, you know, that, I mean, we were all so amped up and locked up and all that stuff. And everybody learned how to be a troll level expert. And
that's all it is, man. And like the company I DJ for, like with weddings and stuff, still that same company, which it's Legacy Event Group out of Miamisburg. They want me to start doing more like reels and like TikTok stuff, and I'm just like,
for your brand,
like my brand. And it's like, I had TikTok. I don't know about you guys, but I was scrolling on TikTok for like 2+ hours at night. So
trying to go to bed.
I deleted the app for my personal being.
I did
like,
too. Yeah.
I'm not doing this. And then
my
reels.
wife got it, and it started happening to her. I was like, I want no part of that shit.
But then if you notice, after TikTok exploded, Instagram, Facebook, everybody, YouTube, all reels.
Shorts and
the little 15 seconds.
Yeah.
What was it? Music. What was the little 7-second one back in the
Vine? Yeah, Vine's back, baby.
Yeah.
Is it really?
I mean, it is.
In spirit, I guess. I think I heard it was supposed to come back actually, but I don't know if maybe that's just a rumor.
Isn't TikTok Vine like a
No, it was
iteration?
it was Musically.
Oh,
before.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of thought. I thought TikTok was the new Vine.
I thought it was too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is in spirit, but maybe they have some of the same people.
I feel like the content was kind of the same.
Yeah.
Because I used to use Musically to find out what the new tracks were that the kids were listening to.
But then again, you know, in Vine's day, what year would that have been? Because now we're talking vertical video on mobile.
2013, 12, 13-ish. Yeah.
And we didn't all have the greatest phones back then to be able to do stuff like that, so it was probably consumed on a laptop and stuff. And so I think now it's a little different this go around because it's just like you said, you can just get lost in a rabbit hole of 15-second videos for hours.
It's scary.
Yeah,
like I'm not even joking when I say this. I was hunched over my kitchen table like this, scrolling through my phone, and I looked up and it was an hour and 45 minutes. And that's when I was like, I'm getting it off. Like,
I do it even on Facebook. I do it, and like I took the Facebook app off my phone, and that's been more than 2 years since I did that. But even when I'll sit at my laptop and I'll just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and be like, man, I'm starving or something. Like something will make me look at the clock and I'm like, oh
my
man.
God, the sun's down.
Okay,
like it's 3:30 in the morning. I should probably go to sleep.
Just so I can sit here and hate myself and everyone I know. Like that's this is terrible.
I mean, there will be some cool videos that like. I'm a tear guy. Like I cry like in like sad movies and stuff, and all my guy friends are like, "Oh, don't be a wuss," and I'm just like, dude, like I don't know if something like gets to me, like. But there's some of those videos on there that will actually like hit me, and I'm like, oh man, like
me, I'm in the dog algorithm.
Yeah,
so I always get like the little dogs like just running around, and they'll put voices to them.
That or if like a dog's like they're saying goodbye to their dog, it's like
reuniting with the military guy. And those ones get me bad, man. I'm like, I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah.
Get back in there, tear.
No, I let it go. I mean, I saw Top Gun again this morning, and that was like the third time I've cried.
Yeah,
and it's not even a sad movie. I'm just like, man, I love this movie. It's so good. Yeah, I'm a big baby.
So do you like trance music?
Good transition there. So honestly, I get so lost, and I was thinking about this on the way here too. And I'm like, if someone asked me like, "What's your favorite genre?" Like, I don't even know anymore
Yeah,
because they all bleed together.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I was DJing with the radio and stuff, like the radio was playing all pop music, and then out of nowhere, like Hot 102.9 was playing pop music and Ed Sheeran, and then there was like collabs going everywhere, and I just like, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm a party guy. I don't care. I don't care what genre. I don't really mess with too much trance.
So how would you describe your sound then? People are going to be able to go and listen to you after the show once we publish the performance. But
I'd probably say like mainstream, like electro house, I guess you could say.
So big, bassy sounds.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it depends kind of like
good builds.
What show, I guess. I've never had the opportunity to like do an actual, so like Land of Illusion, they do like EDM night.
Yeah.
So I always try to put like a set list of like dubstep, hard trap, like drum and bass stuff, but it's all like, it's like main like stuff. Like for instance, like Nicki Minaj Starships, I'll do like a drum and bass mix to that or something like that.
Okay.
It's like, so it's kind of like top hits mixed with like
open format.
Yeah.
Open format, and genre bending a little bit.
Yeah, open format. Like, I mean,
is that what you're going to do today after we talk?
So I mean, I'll be playing, electro house, I'll be playing some pop remixes and stuff like that.
Cool.
Which kind of what I was saying earlier, I just made the switch to record box, so I don't have my entire library, so I got a good amount of stuff on here.
Yeah, so we're looking at your setup here in the studio right now for those who are listening to the audio version, and Chris brought a very lovely flagship Pioneer setup, a pair of 2000, are they Nexus 2s or 3000s? I mean, 3000s and the
he's coming with the
Nexus
3s, but he's
2.
leaving with the 2s.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how it is? Is that the trade-off today?
Yeah, maybe you won't notice. So yeah, you made the switch to. So you didn't fuck around.
No. I took about a couple weeks, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm just pulling the trigger. Bit the bullet. Wife was not happy. Still not happy, but I love you. You're watching.
Are you happy with the hardware?
Right now, yes, and I think, it's not just the hardware. I am more so like I just ditched the computer. And I feel free.
Nice.
I'm not scrolling. I'm not. So my big thing is like I do a lot of summer gigs outside, and my big thing is like I can have this out in 100-degree heat and it's gonna work perfect. At least to my knowledge. I haven't had it mess up yet.
Tony confirm.
Tony might have some problems with it too. But this like MPU is like supposed to be like
for the most
top
part.
tier.
Yeah, it's all good.
But like my laptop, I have a like 2019 MacBook. It's fast, amazing, but it gets so hot. And then I'm bringing a fan, and I'm like trying to keep it as cool as possible. I have hard drives. I got USB cables going everywhere, and I'm just like, you know what? If I can ditch the computer and all those cables, like there just went my book bag. So then my dumbass thought, hey, put it in a coffin. You ain't got to carry anything but the coffin.
Which is true.
It's very true. But you see the size of that thing? You can fit a child in that. So it's just really heavy. And
just out of curiosity, so that being your motivation, how did you talk yourself into the full badass setup rather than like an RX3, like an all-in-one?
So,
but your last set of gear wasn't.
Do you want me to go through the?
Yeah, it wasn't low end.
The list of gear.
Share your experience.
How did you get here?
Okay, how did I get here? So when I first met my wife, I was DJing with that company. A little controller board at the club or whatever, and she was like, "If you got your own equipment, like, could you do your own stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yes, I could." And she's like, "Well, what do you want?" At the time, the CDJ 900s were big, so I'm like.
They still took CDs, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the only one that doesn't have a CD player, unfortunately, which I don't know who still plays CDs but my mother. But, yeah. She bitches about cars not having CD players now. Yeah. I'm like, Mom, get with the times. Like, come on. CDJ 900s and a DJM 700 was my first setup. And then I ran.
That's pretty.
That's still, at the time, that's high-end,
and my wife bought it all, too, which was great because I didn't really have too much money to my name. Just kind of how I grew up. And then I bounced around every job. I never could keep a job, so I was pretty broke. But she took a chance on me, and I just started practicing, which I don't know why I was doing it, but I was using Virtual DJ at the time because that's the only software I knew. From there, I was following another DJ who's a good friend of mine, DJ Ant out of Columbus. He was using the SZ, the new controller. And he's like, dude, you got to get this. And I shit you not, it was the next morning I bought it. I was like, okay, if this guy's doing this good on this. So I used that for a couple years, and I loved it. I've owned 2 of those, actually. Okay. And so from there, I took the CDJ 900s. I traded them on Facebook Marketplace for the RXZ the record box. It was like the 3 screens.
Yep.
It was massive as hell.
The one that did video mixing and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is a huge upgrade from the
spaceship.
Yeah, dude, you ain't kidding.
It was massive. Yeah.
Bigger than the PS5.
Yeah.
No.
You had one at your house once. Somebody brought over, and
Yeah,
I remember seeing it in person. Like,
That thing is
holy-
gnarly.
I mean, yeah.
And I was still using a computer at the time, so I'm like,
You got to
man,
make room for that too.
and it's melting my computer because of how much energy it's drawing.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Screw this. So I got on Marketplace and I saw a guy in some Mexican guy in Columbus. He was selling an 850 Pioneer mixer with CDJ 2000 Nexus,
Nice.
like the first model, and he wanted 2,000 for it. And I was like,
oh, that's a great rig.
okay, cool. And I was like, so I talked to him and he was like, hey, I'd be willing to do a trade if you can prove to me that works. Well, my dumbass uninstalled the software before I even went up to Columbus. So I got up there and I couldn't even prove it worked. And I was like, give me a second. I was like, I'll be back tomorrow. Took it home. I took it to Guitar Center. I'm like, what's the best you can offer me? And they said $1,400, which I thought was really good for Guitar Center because usually they're like $200.
Yeah.
So I took
We'll give you a
$1,400.
sticker.
I put out $600, drove to Columbus, and that was my new setup.
Nice.
This story can get really long because I've owned a lot of equipment.
I use an 850 to this day. That's what this is right here.
It is pretty sexy over there.
It's a good. I mean, it's a poor man's 900. I always said it.
No,
it's
honestly,
Serato certified. It works with
It
tractor.
works with
It works
everything.
with everything.
We were
And
just
they're-
talking
for
about
now.
that.
There's not much of a difference if you look at it right here to there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got a lot of the same
Few
effects.
things,
and
but you
stuff.
got to look.
Yeah, and probably stuff I haven't even figured out yet with this guy.
Yeah.
But from there, I got Rain 12s, the first model, and then I started DJing, and then I was like, you know what? Like, I sold all the SZs. I sold the Rain 12s. I'm like, man, I'm just done with this.
Did you swap to Serato at the Rain 12s, or had you already done that?
Oh, sorry, forgot about that. My bad. So when I made the switch to Serato, it was with the CDJ 900s, but it was
Okay.
like later on.
Were you doing like a HID?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, which
USB connection?
which is kind of funny because with Virtual DJ, which have you guys all used Virtual DJ?
I've never used it. Yeah.
Here and there.
So they actually have a sync button on the screen.
Okay.
So I used it when I first started DJing to kind of like develop beat matching and stuff. And
Yeah.
which, looking back, I just want to smack myself because I was cheating.
It's a tool.
I know, it is a tool. It is.
Yeah.
It is a tool. But I actually jumped on Serato, and I made the switch. I got the what was the boxes? The Serato boxes.
The
The
SSL.
SL7, 9.
The SL3 is what I got. I think. Yeah. And I called Serato because I was struggling, and he's like, "Yeah, can I help you?" And I was like, "This may be dumb." I was like, "I'm brand new to Serato. Is there a sync button anywhere?" And he just started laughing. He was like, "Bro, you actually got to learn how to DJ."
Oh shit.
And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then a couple weeks later, I'm DJing. I'm getting the hang of it, like mixing. And then that's how my radio gig kind of came about.
Okay.
The local bar brought him in, and then that's where I got that connection at with my buddy Steven. And then
Which station were you with?
99.9.
Okay.
I did like live mix shows for him for about 5 years. I opened shows. I mean,
They're doing remotes and stuff
yeah,
like that.
like Cash, the artist, actually used my
Yeah.
CDJ 900s at the time.
Cool.
Yeah, they were like, "What?" Their manager, Tommy Nappy. I don't know if you ever heard of Tommy Nappy. He was like, "Hey, like, does your DJ have any equipment?" And I was like, "I have CDJ 900s just sitting in my room that I'm not even using." And they was like, "That'll work." And I'm like, "Okay, like, big time
Big time festival DJ going to use my gear?
take me home." Like, just exploded, and like, I'm like, "Oh, okay, like, just use this stuff." But I did a bunch of radio gigs, open for Flowrider, Cash, Echo Smith, MKTO. I mean, hung out with Fallout Boy's manager out back. I'm probably forgetting a ton of people. There's been a long list. Cincinnati, Dayton,
Columbus.
but oh yeah, Columbus. I worked for Columbus Crew
Yeah.
for 3.5 years until the money really wasn't worth it, and I was like, I bought a brand new Jeep, which is out in the driveway. It's not very new anymore, but I put like 60,000 miles on it in like 6 months.
DJ and soccer games.
But I worked in Columbus full time.
Yeah.
4 nights a week. Ugly Tuna on campus 2 nights a week. Adobe Gillis Easton 2 nights a week, and then I was doing soccer games. Yeah,
That's a heavy hustle.
dude, you ain't kidding. But now my car's over 100,000 miles, and it's only like 4 years old, and I'm like, man, this sucks. Which who owns the Kia outside?
That's my wife.
Okay, because I've been looking at getting one of those.
They're
Those things are
so
sexy.
nice. The
Yep.
Kia has really upped their game.
Hashtag sponsor
Yeah.
us.
But anyways, to circle back really quick about the equipment, I pretty much sold everything, and then the new like Pioneer DDJ 1000 came out, but only for record box, and there's rumors that it was coming out for Serato, and I was like, this is me, because I love controllers, and I love how it was only like 12 or 13 pounds,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, it's like so light, I could just pack it up and go really quick. And then the only man on the planet that had one was this guy right here. So I forget
Mighty
how
Mo.
did I reach out to you or
You were asking questions about it. I was like, dude, if you want to check it out,
Yeah, that's what it was.
Come grab it.
I was like, are you serious? Like, you're gonna let me borrow? He's like, yeah, take it home and play with it for a day or two or whatever.
What a good spirit.
I know.
fucking guy.
So I had to download record.
I've known this kid since he was in high school, man. It's
Oh, I
like
didn't know
it's not
that.
like he was going.
It's been a
anywhere.
while.
I mean,
We have a
have
couple
you seen
mutual
how
friends.
big he is? He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
I knew him before he was a DJ. So
I didn't realize that.
yeah,
So a lot of people don't know this about me. Before I was a DJ, I was actually an MMA cage fighter. Believe it or not.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I did it for like 6 years. I've had 5 sanctioned fights.
Wow.
My last fight is the only one apparently on YouTube, which is bullshit if you ask me, because all the other ones were sweet. And I whooped everyone's ass in the other ones, but this one I get demolished. And I'm like, of course this one's on YouTube. But I was fighting amateur, and it was like I had to fight one more fight and win to go pro. And I was fighting a kid that was undefeated out of Columbus. And he was like a wrestler, and I was a kickboxer. And I was actually whooping his ass. Like, we started off, he threw a tie kick, I caught it, and just dropped him one hit. And I was like, get up, I'm not wrestling his ass. Like, I was like, no.
I'm not falling for that trick. Yeah.
So then he came at me again, I hit him, and then he hit me with a spinning back fist. I mean, everyone here watches UFC, right?
Yeah.
I'm about to say I'm not talking Chinese to everybody. So he hit me with a spinning back fist, and I was like, what the hell was that? And then he just like hip tossed my ass and then just grounded, pounded me, knocked me clean out.
Ugh.
I mean, yeah, I was like, what the hell just happened? I woke up and I was like, ref's like, you all right? And I'm like, holy shit.
Wow.
I'll put it this way. I felt like my head was on a concrete block or like a sidewalk, and I felt like my head went through it.
Mm.
Ugh.
Yeah. I've never been hit that hard. And I was like, I'm done. See ya. I was still DJing at the time, too. So I was like, I'm just going to focus on this and drop it. My mother-in-law wanted me to focus on gardening. She was like, you should probably quit fighting. And I'm like,
It's a happy medium.
Yeah.
yeah. But it was cool. I like to think that's what landed my wife, because she actually went to one of my cage fights when I first started talking to her.
Oh, wow.
And I demolished the guy. So
Ooh, I got to keep her.
it was cool.
Nice.
It was cool. But anyways, he let me use the 1000, and then I fell in love with it. SRT dropped. I bought it. And then,
Yeah, it wasn't shortly after you borrowed mine that the SRT came out.
oh, dude, it was so smooth. And
Yeah.
still today, that's my favorite controller on the market. If I ever have a problem with anything, let's say this catches on fire today, knock on wood, hope it doesn't, but 1000 SRT is going right in the cart.
Yeah,
I'll buy it tomorrow.
So I have a ultimate guide to DJ controllers. I try to update about every year or so, and it's my top. Well, the DJ 1000 or the SRT, either one, is my top recommendation on that list. If you don't give me any other data and you just say I want a controller, what should I get? I just say that.
Yep. Now, if they're a beginning DJ, I don't really throw them that route. But yeah.
Sure.
More like, what is it, like the SB 2 or 3 or something like that, or the smaller, like
the SB3
Yeah.
or the DDJ 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is a
something
good-
so basic.
400 has pedals on it, man. I thought
Yeah.
that was nuts. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like where we at today. I mean, I got Rain 12 sitting in my basement now that are on eBay. So if anyone out there wants to,
That's what I was going to say earlier. It's funny you're talking about swapping out all the gear. Like I remember seeing the iterations of you buying the gear and then it's showing up on Facebook Marketplace, like as he was acquiring all this gear over the years. So it's kind of funny.
everyone,
You telling the story, and I can like picture where I
How much
was.
is it listed for? Are you willing to say?
The Rain 12s.
Yeah.
So I got both of them on there with 2 Gator cases, soft cases,
Okay.
and I just put them up for 15 or best offer.
Okay.
So when I bought them brand new, they were over 19.
Yeah.
So, which I'm not expecting 15, but if I can get somewhat close to that, that'd be,
Cool.
yeah. But my wife's making me sell them. So
Yeah.
Pushing you forward, man.
The thing that's really helped me is that we build a relationship with the DJ Hookup, and they're a
Yep.
hardware retailer, and so we work with them to do reviews, and so they're always just sending. That's why I got boxes stacked.
which I
up
think
over
I have
there.
some stuff on
So-
the right, because you said put it on the hookup. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so now it's like, okay, that at least I get to put hands on stuff and play with it and then send it back, and I don't
Yeah.
ever have to pay for it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't get to keep it or gig out with
Yeah.
it or anything, but it's still fun to push buttons.
But I will say, I mean, I've owned all the Denon products. I won't go into detail with that, but I will say the 1000 is the best controller still that I've ever played with, and the Denon Prime Go.
Hmm.
The Prime Go is so much fun. I haven't played with the new Mark, the one that came out
Mixstream
that has
Pro.
the engine Prime software in it.
yeah,
but
speakers.
Yeah.
yeah, which I mean, you never
It's
really
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll use them at your house, but that's it.
Yeah, they don't get super loud either, which is weird.
Which is weird too. Yeah. Because we drove around playing with that one day.
Yep, the Prime Go with Tidal.
Yeah.
If you guys use a computer out there, Tidal is scary. How sweet it is. I actually just helped a DJ. I won't say his name, but he just got the Flex 6.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, and he he's like, how do I get my Apple Music into my playlist in Serato? And I was like, I'm pretty sure you got to like download the actual iTunes music and then import your library that way. I was like, you can't just take a Spotify playlist and just launch it right into Serato. And then he was like, well, I got Tidal. How's that work? And I showed him, and his like eyes lit up. And he's like, I have every song I ever want. And I'm like, yeah, that much. Easy. And it loads in a split second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm done talking.
Oh, no. So
please.
You were saying you went through several different versions of your name as a DJ?
Oh, absolutely. not like several, as in like 5. But
Like the way you were talking, it sounded like an interesting subject we should cover.
Okay. So it started off with DJ Chris because my name is Chris. And I was like, Chris, that's kind of cool. And everyone's like, hey, you can wear your shirt backwards. Right? Chris make you jump. And I'm like, okay, like whatever, I'll go with Chris. Well, my dumbass self went on Google. And I was like, like let's search Chris logos. And there was a cool one. So I took it, made a Facebook page, made this whole thing. And then one day I woke up to a mean-ass message. It was DJ Chris from California. And he was like, bro, I don't appreciate you using my logo. Like, you can ask, I make logos. And I'm like, well, like, let's go through the process of making me a logo and changing my name. And he was like, well, what do you want to be? And don't ask me how it happened and why it went this route, but my name was DJ K2.
Okay.
Like K, like almost like crisscross or like Chris squared or something. Okay. Everyone's like, oh, like K2. And I was like, just K2, like F it. And then the guy that actually did the design logo put K-TWO. And I'm like, man, I quit. I was like, I'm not, that makes no sense to me. Like, I don't. So I was DJ K2 for a while. And all my friends still call me K2. I don't know why. Because they always say K2 closed the club. Because I've worked, you probably know this too. You worked at several bars in the area, clubs. They eventually shut down. Well, all my friends blame me for it.
Oh, you were the X factor to all the clubs closing?
Like Adobe's. They closed the night after I DJ'd.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I DJ'd at Mass. They shut down. I mean, Tony's DJ'd there several times. It's like, but all my friends just like to make Pulse nightclub in the Oregon District when it was there. I was there. They shut down. I mean, the list goes on and on. I probably like at least 8 bars. No,
okay.
Actually,
Hammerjacks was before your time.
He was probably 12.
Yeah.
No, actually, so Hammerjacks like closed and then they reopened or something like that. And then I trained DJ there one night.
And then it shut down.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't. Yeah, but my wife has stories about Hammerjacks.
When it closed and reopened, was it same ownership?
I have no idea. I was freshly like 21 and I was like training.
I guess,
yeah. So I didn't know anybody or anything. I was like, oh, put this CD in and here's the top hits of this and this and this and play this Pitbull song. And I was like, okay. Not beat matching. I'm fading in, fading out. Yeah, it was, yeah. But then I was just sitting there one day after K2 and I'm like, man, like, it's not me. Like, it's not me. And I was like, how do I get it to be me? Like, how do I think of a cool, unique name? And I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I was like, I'm going as my name, DJ Chris Lutz. It's straight up. Nobody in the world has that name to my knowledge of being a DJ. There's a famous basketball player by the name of Chris Lutz that played at Purdue. Don't ask me how I know that, but
so we just had this conversation in the driveway. But when I first started DJing and I started producing, actually, I put a couple tracks on Beatport or something, and then I got a nastygram from a David Michael, and he was like, "Hey, why are you using my name?" And I was like, I don't know. It's just my fucking name. I decided not to change my name. And so he fussed about it a little bit. And I mean, this is in the mid 2000s or late 2000s. And
I bet he doesn't have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Eventually, we both just stopped caring about it. I think he still put stuff out, but we just, whatever.
Which that's how the conversation came up. Because I've never met David until today.
Okay.
And actually, it's probably on here. I have a Kings and Queens remix. And it's a David Michael remix.
Yeah, wasn't me.
And I play it all the time.
You were like, oh, I get to finally meet him.
It wasn't me, unless it's good, and then it was me.
So I don't get an autograph today? Cool. All right.
I mean, I'll do it.
But no, he's like, no, that's not me. But I have a funny story about that.
Yeah.
So with all the different places that you DJ, talking about clubs, doing the private events, sporting events, are you playing your sound, or do you have a separate sound like that you're playing in the bedroom or the basement or whatever?
It's not really my sound. I'm more toward like whatever the event is. So like, for instance, like Land of Illusion, like during their Aqua stuff, like I play like upbeat, like house, like top 40 stuff. But like my Wednesday night crowd is like a redneckish bar, I guess you could call it. Like there's bikers that go in there and stuff. So I play a lot of like classic rock remixes and like stuff like that. So it's like my sound will literally go from like country remixes to like ratchet stuff. I mean, like anything in between, like Tony said, open format. I really don't have a sound. I've tried to produce my own music.
No, you had some.
I did some bootlegs.
Yeah, you did some pretty dope bootlegs.
Yeah.
Was that during the pandemic or a little bit before that?
Way before that.
Okay.
They're on my YouTube page, but it's like there's a couple. Everyone's like, "Wow, like that was pretty cool."
There were a couple I did jack from you.
Oh, that's
like the transitions and everything. I was like, I'm stealing that one.
Yeah. But I mean, anybody that produces music, I applaud you because that shit's hard. Like, cause me, I changed my mind. Obviously, clearly, I went through 26 different DJ controllers and decks, but like one day I'd make something and I'm like, you know what, that could be better, and then I'll change it, and then the next day I'll change it. I don't like it, scrap it, and I'm just like, yep, and then back to square one.
It's really interesting. I don't think I've ever come across a DJ that does as much as you do, but doesn't really have a sound that they.
I would say I've come across DJs like that, but not one that actually says it like that.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like there are plenty of open format DJs that are like DJ as a service, you know, and like bar DJs and stuff like that. That I mean, they might just
but
trivia DJs and those all kinds of DJs.
You're not slamming faders though. You're actually playing.
Right. As for somebody who does proper club mixing and has a real setup and stuff, it's interesting to hear from your own mouth. I don't really have a sound. That's I mean, unique to hear that in this room.
The only time I ever really like slam a fader if there's like some crazy ass request out there and it's like not that busy of a bar, and I'm like, you know what, like I'll do some effect and fade out and then slam the fader, and I'm like, okay, but everything
You're
I do is
pleaser.
Yeah. I mean, to some point, there's some people out there that I'd love to punch in the face sometimes. Like there was a drunk guy that threw $20 on my table one day, and he was like, I'm paying you more than this bar does, and I'm like, are you shitting me, dude? Like, I'm like, man, like get out of here. And he wanted it was one of those new Rust songs that came out, which I don't even follow Rust that much, but
yeah, me either.
Do you even know who Rust is?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn it, I wish I knew what song it was. I have several good gig stories. I mean, pretty much every gig I work. I mean, Columbus Crew was a lot of fun. Right before COVID shut down, I saw the email. I was supposed to do Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was supposed to do like opening day. They wanted me to like DJ and introduce the players.
Oh,
like
man.
through like the main tunnel area, and I'm like, how about you get somebody from the radio in Cincinnati? I was like, let one of the girls introduce, because I'm terrible at pronouncing names, like super bad. I'm like, I will mess this whole shit up.
Knowing your limitations.
I was like, let me just focus on DJ and make sure everything's like family friendly, clean. Let me just do my part and then have them introduce. And they're like, okay, cool. And then outbreak of COVID happened, and then they're talking about shutting down the baseball season, and I'm like, and then the email went out. I'm like, fuck,
damn,
like, dude, that was like, because Columbus Crew was nice and all, but it's like I hate soccer. It's like, oh, kick the ball, goal, yeah. It's like I grew up playing baseball, and it's like I love baseball, and it's like I love football, and it's like I would trade anything in the world to be a Philadelphia Eagle DJ right now. But there's quite a
long line, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, DJ Scooter, he's out in Philadelphia, and he's one of the guys I look up to a lot, and he's one of the like Phillies DJs. And he's done stuff with the Eagles, and I'm like, yeah.
I interacted with the Cleveland Indians DJ a little bit, like on Instagram and stuff, because I
saw him there all the time.
Well, we went to the Cubs games when they were in the World Series, and when they played the Indians, and so I saw him like DJing the party outside of the stadium and stuff, and so then I followed him on Instagram, and the next day I was like tagging him in Passionate DJ stuff and trying to get his attention, you know, and we always thought it'd be cool to get a DJ like that on the show that does something like that, because we've never had like a stadium DJ.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I could talk a little about Columbus Crew. I mean,
okay, yeah.
Just kind of like
Mike was on.
Mike.
Oh, Mike. I work with Access with Columbus
DJ
Crew.
Access.
Oh, yeah.
So me and Mike, we're actually the main. So Mike was the main DJ for Columbus Crew, and then I was DJing with Mike, and then they brought in DJ Leak, who was also from Columbus, and then DJ Leak moved out to Arizona, and it was just me and Mike forever. And then Mike was busy doing like club gigs, and then I took on like 75% of the games for Columbus Crew, which I didn't really like being in the stadium because you had to be there the entire damn day. But they had a pavilion DJ that I loved doing, because you would DJ like an hour and a half before game, and then you DJ 15 minutes at halftime, and then you pack up and go home. And you made $300. Or you could DJ inside the stadium all day and make $312.
Get air conditioning.
Yeah. And then so
tell us, Mike never got into it, so tell us, like, during the match, like, how does that work?
So I'll just kind of take you, like, parking, you go in or whatever, you go to the stage. They want you there super early for like the marketing team meeting for the whole day. Like, so-and-so is going to do this, like cameras angle's going to do this and this, and you had to kind of sit through the whole thing. Like DJ Chris will warm up, He'll introduce the team or whatever, and he'll play warm-up music for an hour and a half or whatever, and then the game and all that stuff. So I had to be there. If a game started at like 7, I had to be there by like 3:30, which is, I think, to me, that's dumb as shit. But just to go to a production meeting when I already know what I'm playing and everything, and it's like, okay. So we do that. I go to the production meeting. We go down there. I would already have everything set up, plugged in to their XLR system. Had to wear headphones.
Are you in the booth or
no? Just kind of like on like a stage.
Okay. That one.
It's like a flat stage.
Yeah, that's where we
like,
usually have lunch.
Where
they put the food at.
That was the original Breakaway stage.
Okay.
The main stage of Breakaway.
Yeah, it's like a big flat piece of concrete. They put like vendors out there and stuff.
Okay.
And so we'd set up there, and then I would just wait till game time, and then they're like, all right, go ahead and start playing like warm-up music, and people would be coming in the stadium, and then warm-ups would happen, and then I would play the kickoff music, and they're like, okay, like someone in my ears telling me, all right, go ahead and drop kickoff music, and I'd play Freaks by Timmy Trumpets, because for some reason they couldn't choose another song. It was like 4 straight years of playing dun 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 dun. I'm like, I'm tired of playing this shit. But it was cool as shit though. And then when the ball was kicked off or whatever, I don't know soccer that well, but the opening like face off, I guess you could call it, I would just lower the fader and it'd be dead silent, and then I would have their goal songs
queued up.
And right when their goal score, that's when they would tell me, like, okay, it's been confirmed, play it.
Okay. Which
was only like a couple seconds. There's been a couple of times where they would score a goal that didn't count, and they blew off confetti, and people were getting bitched at. And it's, but then I'd have to stay the whole game. I'd play halftime as well.
Okay. So you have somebody directing you the whole time?
Yes.
And now, producer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. For the most part, and then which I'll get to that here in a second. Which DJing with your own headphones on, and then having this and someone telling you what to do, I was like panicking. I'm like, dude, I need someone here to tell me so I can focus on this, because the echo off the speaker on the other side of the stadium.
Oh, you don't have monitors or anything?
I mean, I could have brought one, but I just wore my headphones.
They should give you that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you would think so, but they don't.
Tony knows. Yeah, Tony's got that disapproving look.
I mean, they gave me a $12 increase from going there to there. So, but anyway, so I was
and no monitor.
No, and then the worst part was I would DJ halftime, which is fine. They give me shout outs during halftime, which was cool. And then they do like a lot of camera angles. They bring the camera up in your face and show you mixing and like pregame, halftime, and stuff. I love that part. It was cool. Like everyone's blowing me up on social media, like, hey, awesome mix.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, at the end of the game, you got to play for another like 30, 45 minutes or whatever. So most of the time it's just like pop remixes, like re-drums, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But then it's like, then you pack up and go home, and no one's even in the stadium. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm getting home at like 4 a.m. I'm like, Jesus, this sucks. Like, So then DJ Leak, who was the third DJ that joined us at Columbus Crew with me and Mike, he was coming back from Arizona, and he was like, Chris, he was like, do you have any gigs that you'd be willing to give me at Columbus Crew? And I was like, it's funny that you mentioned that.
You could have
every
all
single
of them.
one.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting tired of this shit, dude. I was like, you could have most of them. I think I worked 2 games the rest of that year, and then Leak and Access did the rest. And then next year I was never called back, and it was the Leak and Access show, and then they went on to do Ohio State and all this other cool shit, and I was like, damn it, why'd I give it up? But my thing was pay. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
The time.
Because Bar Louie was paying me $300 a night, and I was working Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at Bar Louie's. So I was making $900 a week just off that, and then Columbus Crew wanted to pay me $312 to go out there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and not get home till like 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not really worth it.
That's a rough run.
Yeah. So it's really interesting that you talk about you got someone in your ear, because like when I do football games, it's just like there's not someone telling me, okay, it's third and whatever, play this song. It's just like I just play whatever I feel like playing. And it's kind of cool. Like from that respect, because I had like a lot of autonomy.
They expected you to put together the means for that, because you took your Control F1 and you built a little like sample pad and stuff out of it, custom thing, and
which I wasn't really like familiar with like the stadium gigs, but my very first like experience with like a stadium game is still today the hardest shit I've ever had to do. I DJ'd for the Dayton. It wasn't the Dayton.
The arena football?
No, the fucking hockey team.
Oh,
they were the Dayton
Bombers.
Well, it used to be the Bombers. But it was like the Dayton. Gyms, Dayton Gyms, maybe.
Okay. I totally forgot about the Bombers, man. Just a minute ago.
No, the Dayton Demons is what it was.
Demons.
They were ECHL. They were a different league. Yeah,
they were playing at Hara Arena, and they were like, "Hey, you want to DJ?" And it was B-Man from one of the radio stations, the rock stations in the area. He got with the radio station I worked for and was like, "Hey, does Chris want to work the Dayton Demons?" I didn't realize how tough a hockey game was to DJ. Holy shit, you have to be.
Do you? Well, part of it, especially hockey, you got to know the sport.
Yeah, which I know a little bit about hockey
know.
because all my friends play hockey, but
Hockey is probably worse than football.
yeah, I mean,
Because at least football, there's like there's a start and a stop to a series of play.
yeah,
Where
exactly.
hockey is just like boom, 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 boom.
I mean, put it this way.
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
Put it this way. You're like, let's say you're playing a song, playing like an EDM song, and then you lower it, the face off happens. Boom. Puck goes out of play immediately. New song. It's like, holy shit.
Better have some shit ready.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, you can't play the same song because it makes like, yeah, it's like constantly just like, I mean, I was like literally just scroll, click, and I was play, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. I was like, I hate this, but it's like now that I'm well far, this was early on in my DJ stuff, so it's like now it's like I could prep and make like a playlist and have it like queued up and hot cues and save loops, and I'm like, so I could probably do pretty well in it now, but.
What's your favorite kind of gig nowadays?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Like with your like
done a
really
lot.
broad scope of practice, like what's your favorite?
That's a scary question because it makes me realize how much I'm not doing right now.
I know that feeling.
Oh god, I mean, I want to be doing so much more shit, but I'm not. I would say my favorite gig right now is probably Land of Illusion.
Okay.
And it's just like I said earlier, it's mostly like top 40 house music. As long as it's family friendly, clean, I can play whatever I want. Like I usually get away with like electro house there and like some EDM house stuff. But then I'll play like redrums of pop, tropical edits, stuff like that. I just like being outside.
So I'd be interested to know, and I mean you'll show us, but when after we're done with the interview here, you're going to play a set for us. And so since you're such a crowd reading, event-driven, reactive DJ, how do you approach a set like this where it's like, just do what you do, or a live stream or anything like that? Like,
pretty much just gonna kind of like based off the live streams I was doing on Facebook, I was just kind of like, unless people were like asking, everyone's like, hey, do a country mix, and I was like, oh shit, okay, now I gotta dig through my playlist and find my redrums of country, and like, but like for something like today, it'd be kind of like what I do at like Land of Illusion, Aqua. It's like I'm just gonna dive into my like house EDM folder area genre and just kind of mess with that.
So are you gonna
do what?
Land of Illusion, is that every week?
Yeah, every Saturday and every Sunday, and then I was there on July 4th as well.
Wow. I had no idea. Wow.
And then it rolls into Halloween. That's where they picked me up at, was Halloween.
I bet that's fun,
dude. It's awesome. Man. If you like Halloween at all, man, it's a good time.
It's a really cool spot.
And then their sound on their stage is awesome.
But
like,
is it all the time? It is like year round.
Yeah. Not year round. In summer, it's like they kind of do what Kings Island did. They have really like asshole neighbors that like to call the cops for noise complaints a lot.
Heard that.
Yeah, so like if you go on their Facebook, it's people, any bad review is their neighbors pretty much. Everyone else loves it. But sound used to like project out, so they would call the cops a lot. Well, he did what Kings Island did, and he got these like, they're like green pods. And he placed them every 6 to 8 feet. But they're perfectly clear music. I don't even know what brand they are or what, but they don't even look like a speaker.
Oh, I see. So
they're fills. They're like front fills.
Yeah, they just bring...
But it's like a circle pod, and it like almost like makes it like a bubble. So every 6 to 8 feet, no matter where you walk, you can hear me mixing throughout the whole
quantity of speakers instead of a couple speakers with volume.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yep, and then they kind of set my level, and then I just walk in every week, plug in, adjust my level.
I like that approach anyway. I think more clubs should do shit like that.
Is that why he doesn't do concerts anymore?
I mean, not really. So in Halloween last year, I mean, there's like EDM nights when I'd be going ham sandwich up there, and and he was like, "We got another complaint." I was like, "Fuck him! Tell that cop to come up here." I'm like, "I'll let him DJ for a second.
Yeah,
I'll play some Bad Boys." Like,
yeah, because we were in talks for a minute to do a concert there because we did the one with
Bone Thugs and Harmony,
Bone Thugs and Dioro and all that stuff, and I contacted him, I don't know, probably about 6 months ago, and he's like, well, I'm going to have to get back with you because our neighbors are complaining and they don't want big concerts here.
Which is very true. They do complain a lot.
Yeah.
But if you ever went back and talks with him, Brett is his name. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah. So I can say, hey, Tony's a good friend of mine. Just listen to what he has to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's all about, I mean, every year Brett would always come to me like, hey, man, how do we like throw this full-blown like concert with like people dancing and everything like that? I'm like, dude, like,
well, it's
to say I know a guy.
It's funny because my brother has sold him probably the last 10 of his cars.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and my brother connected us, and the thing that I did, I was pretty much hired as a talent buyer for that show. Ended up producing this show and being a talent buyer and whatever,
and production manager. And
that's when I first met Brett.
Yeah.
And just so happened he knew my brother. So we connected a couple times. That's how I actually got his personal number, and I called him. That's when he told me that we never reconnected because just so much shit started happening.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, if he's able to do events, I'm absolutely down because that venue is
Nice.
dope.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that spot. And then every year they're like, "Hey, Chris, like let's do EDM night." And I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah, dude! Like let's go." Like, I mean, this year it's gonna be a little weird on EDM night just because they're having their like costume contest at the end of it, and I'm just like, I mean, maybe people will come down for it. I don't know.
It's funny because when we had our local Dayton Silent Disco crew here, and John Chappell was talking about that,
The Halloween.
about how weird it was to like have the costume contest, and like
They were
I
like,
don't know.
Yeah, we want to play music.
Yeah,
Like it
what's
had
going
to
on?
stop the whole party and
Yeah.
made it weird. And
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk with them guys. Patrick, he's like the main sound engineer. I'll talk with him and just be like, we're gonna set it up to where I will end, and then we'll start the costume contest like after that. Like, because I'm not like getting on the microphone. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the costume.
Yeah.
Like no.
But unlike it, so
Yeah.
one of those Land of Illusions gigs, or even like what you're gonna play here, or a live stream or something, do you have kind of a playlist structure, or are you literally just gonna go like whatever jumps out at me right now I'm gonna play, or is it somewhere in
If
the
we
middle?
look at it like right now, like I'm just so like if I go to my like since I said I just switched to record box, if I jump in my Aqua folder right now, I mean I got like for instance like there's a Titanium remix on my mind, a Billie Jean like house mix. I mean I just all over the fucking page really.
Party rockers.
Yeah.
Just all the way through.
Yeah.
Right, but I guess what I'm getting at is since you don't have your crowd here, how do you do your ordering? Is it random? Is it
I wouldn't really
what
say
you're
it.
feeling? Is it, or do you have kind of
I know what kind of,
pre-made mini mixes of transitions that you kind of know that you like to block together? You
yeah.
know,
Back with Serato, I'd probably say like there was a couple songs that I always mix with another song
okay.
just because it flowed so smooth. Like I always did like open format. I would do like It's Tricky, and then it hit like this 8-beat loop or whatever, and I would loop like a 1 beat on it, and I would bring in like this clap that went into Baby Got Back, but it was 2 Change. She got a big booty, so I call her Big Booty.
Oh yeah.
And it was like right on the beat or whatever, and then once it hit like the 8 count, I would just backspin the Tricky and then bring it right into the dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
It's like, so I always did that, and then someone at the bar was like, "Oh, here comes Baby Got Back." I'm like, "Fuck!" I was like, "I gotta switch this shit now." I was like, "I can't be predictive." But
So the Aqua, that's the water park thing that you
Yeah.
obviously you okay.
yeah, that's probably my favorite gig right now,
Okay.
just because it's outside, it's fun, it's like they let me kind of play whatever I want.
That's cool.
So you're just playing to like a crowd of people just
Yep.
getting in the pool and
Yeah,
water?
so I would say before Father's Day weekend, it was pretty slow. And then on July 4th, there was well over 1,000 people in the park.
Mhm.
The Saturday was almost 1,200 people in the park. And then Sunday, I want to say it was another like 1,100. So it's like,
Wow.
it's been super busy lately. And it's like,
That makes for solid gigs.
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So I try to name drop myself as much as
Yeah.
possible in there. I'm like, hey guys, the problem is, I don't know what it is, and you guys probably have this experience too. Maybe not doing big clubs, but bars and events. If somebody sees you with a microphone and they hear your voice, they're like, "Can you give my friend a birthday shout out?" I'm just like, "Shit!" Like I feel so bad. Like if this lady is ever watching this, I'm sorry, but I hid my microphone in my coffin case behind one of my CDJs. And she was like, "Hey," she was like, "Can you give my son a birthday shout out?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I left my microphone at home." I was like, "I'm sorry." And it's not that I didn't want to do it, because I know if I did it for
If you
her,
do one,
I shit you not, I did like 16 birthday shout outs like 3 weeks ago. And I'm like,
Oof.
dude, F this. I was like, happy birthday to everybody.
yeah.
Everybody. Everybody's birthday. I don't care. And always the worst is like, oh, like, it's my friend's birthday. Well, not till Monday, but I'm like, well, fucking come
Come back Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not your birthday, like,
So what's your least favorite type of gig? I mean, not necessarily the ones you're doing now, but like
No, yeah,
style
I'm not
or
gonna-
manner. Yeah. I don't want you to sell anybody out.
my least favorite gig.
I guess like that you're still willing to do, but you'll grumble about it. Like,
I
because
got,
the
a
money's
Sweet
right.
16 or
I got
you know.
the answer right here.
Okay.
Weddings.
Weddings. Okay.
My God, dude.
Yeah.
Weddings stress me out.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love weddings because it's like, it makes people happy. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I know how I was at my wedding. I was happy. I was dancing. It was a good time.
But the amount of work
Oh my gosh.
that goes into a wedding.
And you're there all day.
Yeah.
It's like Columbus
And
Crew.
the
You're there all day. and it's
expectation of
like-
perfection
Yeah.
from so many people.
Yeah. And it's like, I love helping the company I work for, like, do weddings and stuff, because it's like, I'm like their main DJ. Like, I'm the guy that's training all their other DJs right now, me and one other DJ. And it's like, I know when I go to a wedding, people are expecting like, oh, it's a wedding DJ. And then I just like rip the shit. And they're like, oh my God. Like I use some Denon controller. I mean, the MX 800 or whatever it is.
Yeah. MCX 8000 probably.
Something. Yeah. I don't even know. But I just use that because that's what they have for the company. And I rip it and I feel good at the end because everyone's dancing. Like a couple weeks ago, I had a mom. She came up and I've never had a mom high five me. She's like, you did so fucking good. And I was like, and this was like a fancy wedding at Liberty Town Center, downtown Dayton, by the Dayton Arcade. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
But dude, it's like Columbus Crew. You're there all day.
First one there,
and
last
like,
one to leave. Yeah.
And it's like, man, I'd rather like make the same amount of money and go to like a bar that night and just have my whole day wide open. But that'd probably be my least favorite gig is weddings. It's stress. Like, I have a wedding this Friday and I'm already stressing about it. Not happy
Losing
about
sleep.
it. Yeah.
So
Who inspires you?
oh yeah.
To like DJ or just in general?
Who did you see that made you want to do this?
Oh, God, I wish I had the right answer to that.
Tony DeSaro.
No, actually, so funny story about that though. So I've never met Tony. Face
Everybody
to face.
that's from Dayton has a Tony DeSaro DJ story.
No, so I don't know if anyone's actually inspired me. That company kind of like my cousin was dating that guy at Adobe's, and he was like, "Oh, come DJ or whatever." And then I've noticed I was listening to a shit ton of Calvin Harris. Like just, I mean, he's kind of a boring DJ, but he produces amazing shit. And so that'd probably be the guy that like inspired me. And then I heard about Skrillex and everything. And I'm like, what the hell is it? And Skrillex's first like sound, I was like, this is way too much for me, dude. This is like, oh my God. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I got a headache. I did like Beavis and Butthead, the remake of their show was like Bash and Skrillex. Like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, I don't even know. But going back to Tony here, I've never met Tony. Like I said, my wife has known Tony for years because her ex used to go out with him and he was a DJ as well. And I told my wife on the way here, she's like, you want me to go with you? And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, it's cool. I'll be all right. She was like, what's wrong? And she could tell I was nervous today. And I was like, I've met Mo, I've never met David, but I was like, I've never DJed in front of Tony ever in my life. I was like, I'm kind of fucking nervous. And she's like, babe, she's like, you'll be fine. She's like, obviously Tony's listened to your shit on Facebook before.
Yeah, there's a reason that he contacted you to bring you.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like, but I don't know. I was just a little nervous because I've never met Tony. So it's nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't know how impressive it's going to be based off what you bring to the table.
Again, what David just said, you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
When I do reach out, it's, to a certain level.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have reached out.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And, just by the way, I mean, we've done this a couple hundred times by now. So, like, there's not any one type of DJ or type of sound that we look for or are impressed more if you play it. We're like, oh, that's what he does. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like,
Okay.
we want to see what you do.
And like I was telling Tony, like, I literally just got this a week and a half ago.
No.
I feel like I'm pretty comfortable.
Break it in.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But the only thing I haven't really figured out yet, which with the 1000, like the SRT and stuff, I always use the echo effect. But with this, for some reason, the echo is like fucking with me a lot. And I'm trying to, so I just reverb the shit out of everything. I'm like, but yeah, like, I mean, like before I would set the echo low and then bring it in.
Yeah.
Post fader that shit, and then
maybe there's some quantize function or something.
Probably. I just haven't dived
there should be a
into it.
quantize button up here.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the only time I've ever seen you DJ like in person was for CrossFit. So I've never heard you.
That was on the XX2 or the SX2.
Yeah.
Which I totally forgot that equipment too.
Man,
I
don't remember that one coming up.
So I've never actually
forgot about that one.
seen you live like do your thing. So this will be a treat for me as well.
Okay.
And it's like I said, it's no pressure. Like we have the conversation and we're like, oh, now we get to listen to the DJ play music. It's like a relief for us.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you guys not played on it much, I mean, feel free to jump in. I don't care. I mean, I'm not looking for the spotlight.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
Seriously. I told my wife on the way here, I was like, before I left, and I was like, I'm not sure how long I'll be. I was like, cause I'll probably do my recorded mix. And I was like, if Tony jumps on, I'm staying until fucking he leaves. I was like, I don't know. Like, yeah. Cause I mean, I don't know. I've played on the CDJ 2000 Nexus, the first model, and it's like, I hated just the blue waveform. And it's like, with this, man, I'll tell you right now, if you've never, I mean, I know you review, so you've played with it. I've watched your videos.
I reviewed the 2000s.
But it's almost like cheating for DJs.
Really?
Dude, like, I mean, before you would have like the 4 counts up top, or whatever they're called. This one, you actually have a full-blown waveform showing you, and it's like, you got your damn computer on the screen. So like, if I'm playing this over here.
Oh, you can see the other side?
Yeah, like right there.
Oh, shit.
So if I'm queuing this side up, right there is your whole waveform. So it's, and then vice versa.
Damn,
It goes off the master deck. So
I did not realize that.
Yes, sir.
yeah, the only thing I haven't mastered yet, which with Serato I was really good at, was like playing transition songs. So like if I would download a 128 to like 70 or 128 to 100, in Serato I could do it snapping my fingers. But with this, I'm like, put on the headphones. All right, here we go, and then okay.
So is it actually that it's different, or is it the confidence thing?
I don't know if it's a confidence.
Because I say similar things about Tractor all the time.
Yeah.
And I know Tony has too, like especially about looping and stuff. Like I trust a Tractor loop with my life, but anything else, I'm like, okay. And I don't know why. It probably is fine, but
which is something I've been doing a lot with this since I've got it a week and a half ago. Like I'll just set my own little manual loop with it being quantized, and I'll just chop it up and do it that way instead of doing like, which I do like on this one. It has a 4 count and an 8 count auto loop already.
Yeah.
And that right there is awesome because if you remember the 1000, I don't know if you actually change your settings.
I usually set mine to 32.
But like that 4, auto 4, it's like
you gotta either plus it up or plus or down. You know,
but you used to have to hold like shift and plus up to go up or down, and I'm like, man, fuck this. So, but yeah, that's kind of nice because then you could just chop it up from there as well. But
so what's next? What do you got planned in the future? Like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to take this?
It's a good question because I've been having this conversation with myself a lot, and I mean, maybe you guys feel the same way too. It's like you want to be somewhere you're not. How do I take those next steps? One, I feel like this is a great fucking start right here. Talking to you guys, picking your guys' brains a little bit.
That's what we're here for. Yeah.
Believe it or not, I don't have a website. So I've always went through social media, everything. And I'm like, why am I going to pay for a website when everyone just hits me up social media anyways?
Sure.
So I'm going to get a website. Brett from Land of Illusion, actually, his guy is actually going to make it for me. I haven't even reached out to him, but he told him about it 2 days ago. So
cool.
That's the next step. I've always wanted to play a festival. I don't care if I'm the opening act and there's 12 people out there or just something, because some of these DJs, I feel like they just get there because they produce music. And it's true. And it's
like
hard.
we were saying earlier, they know somebody.
True. Yeah.
You know?
And it really is about who you know. Like if Tony was like this gigantic like Tiesto like creature, and he can go, hey David, you're playing, like you're gonna open this set or whatever for me, and then Mo's gonna come on after you, and then I'm gonna headline it just because he knows you guys.
I'd say
thanks,
Uncle T.
Thanks, Uncle T. But I would love to play like a festival. I feel like once I would DJ the festival, I'd probably be like, okay, that was cool, like whatever, on to the next thing. But like I want to be more of an event DJ. Like I'm DJing an event for Victoria's Secret at Cincinnati Zoo in a couple weeks.
Oh, that sounds, and it's like dope.
So like I've never DJed in a zoo. Like that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, I guess covered, but not in like a convention area. Like people are just gonna be walking. They're closing the zoo down from 6 to 9. So it's like a private event. I don't even know where I'm DJing, but they said I won't be in a building. They said I'll be covered with shade, but I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like,
put you in a lion cage.
Dude. I told my wife, I was like, how cool would it be if like lions were behind me? I was like, I'm live streaming the shit out of it.
Doing a photo op, we're doing the whole thing.
I would like to be an event DJ, but not do a lot of weddings.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that makes
sense.
No,
I feel you on that.
You sound like Mo.
Yeah. I'm at the point in my mobile career where I'm kind of done with weddings. It's just the people can sometimes be not so, like you said, they don't appreciate what you do.
Yeah.
And a lot of them do, but like you say, with the negative comments, it just takes like one or two where they kind of give you a negative feedback, and you feel bad because like it's only their wedding.
Yeah.
And they have some things, but
you almost just kind of have to suck it up too. Like, what are you going to do? Like, get shitty with them on their wedding?
Exactly.
I'll tell you what. So based off like the wedding, what you're just talking about with like one bad thing that happens. So my big thing is I'm in a bar, I'm in a club. Let's say this catches on fire, or like the whole thing just fucking explodes.
You got touch tunes.
You got something as a backup that you can play.
Yeah.
For music or whatever until you fix your shit or whatever. And it's like, okay, like no harm, no foul. People are going to be upset. That shit happens at a wedding.
They'll get over it.
You're fucking done.
Yeah.
You're refunding all their money.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pissed off at you. Like one of my roommate buddies, do you know Dan Velasquez? Big Mexican guy that used to hang out with Emily and Spears a lot.
Sounds really familiar.
You probably know his face.
Probably, yeah.
He actually worked for that DJ company when I first started. He was DJing a wedding and for that same company, and we're supposed to check the music to make sure. And one of our DJs was playing the first dance, and it was like 34 seconds long. Oh. And the song was like supposed to be 4 minutes. So it shuts off, and he just restarts the song, and it's like, oh, dude, full refund. Full refund.
Awkward.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was like, dude, this sucks.
There's
Like,
a bad gig story right there.
That is
Yeah.
horrible.
I
That's
wasn't
yeah,
there, thank God.
That's a
but
nightmare.
You screw that up at the club, it doesn't ruin your paycheck.
no, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like I've at Adobe's. I can't tell you how many times like the amp was like behind the. I don't even know. There was something behind the bar, like an amp with
Yeah.
like the main
And
house
blow.
settings,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't clean the back of it and it had like dust, and it would just like overheat and it would shut off.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And one of the managers was like, "What's going on? Like, what's the problem?" And I was like, "Ain't fucking me."
Yeah.
I was like, "My booth monitor's still on." Like, I don't,
Yeah.
because my wife was working. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What the hell you mean?" I turned on the booth monitor, it was dead quiet, and I was like, "The fuck."
You're in there rocking out.
Yeah, but no, I crawled up in the bar or whatever, and I was like taking all the dust off, and
Yeah.
it started working again. I'm like, but at a bar you have backups,
Mhm.
you can do whatever, and it's like a wedding. It's like
You get one shot.
one shot. I mean, we do have a lot of backups at weddings. We have a backup computer, that Denon MCX 8000 or whatever it is. You can switch to like USB, and
The standalone for 2-channel mode. Yep.
Mhm.
so we have two backups, one main. So I've never had a problem with it, but it still scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally get it.
So
What's one piece of advice you would give to new DJs starting out?
buy the equipment you want first off. Don't buy all this other shit. If you want the flagship 3000,
That shit came out
you
way-
go buy,
That shit
you
came
go
out
buy
real
it.
quick.
Right now.
Station.
Do not.
All right, damn.
Yeah.
I feel attacked.
Seriously, if I could go back and beat the shit out of myself, I would. I mean, all the equipment I've owned, man, and all the debt and like jumping back and forth
Yeah.
and selling this, selling that,
Mhm.
and when I wanted this from the start, and I was like, you know what, this is just too much money. Why should I spend that? And then that's why I bought all the Denon stuff, because it was kind of the same stuff.
Right, because what are you going to sell this for? I mean,
Exactly. My wife was like, "You're just gonna turn around and sell this in a couple weeks," and I'm like,
I
was
reached
like-
the top
so-
of the mountain, I think.
I was like, I
Yeah.
was like, babe, there is no other better equipment on the market. There is one better mixer, but I couldn't like come to my realization of buying a V10 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still on our festival stage right
Still
now.
using-
We're still Nexus 2s.
Really?
Like, yeah, some people are asking for 3000s, but
Dude, you
they're
can,
not necessary.
No,
rent these,
yeah.
you can rent these bad boys out and make your money back. And
Problem is, I wouldn't be able to DJ through the week.
Yeah.
just use
Get
the
you another
Denon.
pair.
Just use the
Get
Denon.
those on the road.
So actually,
Yeah.
I have a which I haven't confirmed it yet, but I have a Sweetwater one of these on order that was on order like
From
a month
year
ago.
Oh,
And so they're like, "Oh, we should get more like at the end of the summer." And I'm just like thinking, like, should I get 3? I don't know.
it's better than 2.
Yeah, yeah, because a lot of like, which I don't know, I've never really messed with the Nexus 2s, only the Nexus 1s, and I really wasn't that confident in DJing without a computer. But like with this, I do find myself always like, if this one's playing, I'm looking for that next song after that one. So it's like I'm constantly on the same,
Mm.
which obviously I got play lock on, and I don't fuck up and
Right.
load a different song or
Mhm.
some shit. But
Made that mistake before.
yeah, which I'm gonna make it today on the live. Like,
So being an open format DJ, top three genres of music.
well, pop being number one, just because pop was like what got me in the radio, and believe it or not, I mean, what would you even label like? I mean, I guess you could say house. I guess like house pop, because I play a lot of mashups of pop house music, and then trap nowadays is like hip hop. It used to be like something else, but now it's
Mhm.
hip hop. So that's why it's like I don't know what genre I even am anymore. Because
Damn, some country songs sound
But-
super trappy too nowadays. You know.
just because my wife loves country, I'd probably say the third one would be country, because I play a lot of country remixes. Like, I mean, I still bust out Shania Twain like every other night at the bar, just because it's a party please like song. And I've been trying to actually teach a lot of DJs like that it factor song. Like when you
Yeah.
drop "Crank That" by Soulja Boy, people lose their shit. It's like, you oh shit, like
Yeah.
just immediately. Like I was doing my old high school.
People knocking down
I
drinks.
shit you not, dude. I did my old high school prom at Stebbins, and this was 2 years ago. And I'm playing like the hip hop songs they wanted, probably some Jack Harlow shit. And they're all walking like off to go to like the photo booth,
Mhm.
and I just like backspun and just and they fucking all sprinted right back out. And I was like, "Get your ass back!" I was like, "Don't you fucking leave my
Nope.
Yeah, but
Just noped him right back.
those like it factor songs is kind of like what does it for me. And it's like that's why I've been trying to teach all these DJs that I'm training. And they're like, "Well, how do you know?" And I'm like, "You just got to know."
Yeah.
It's like "Yeah" by Usher. People know that. "Peace Up, A-Town." Done.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
"Yeah" by or "Get Low" by Little John. Everybody knows that. But dum dum dum. Like
Yeah.
so, I was like, you can start those right fresh off the fucking start. You ain't
Yeah.
got to beat match
Yep.
it or do
Mhm.
anything. That's if you're open format and you're kind of playing
Right.
ratchet ass shit. But, yeah. But So pop, probably house, and then country. Because I do play a lot of like a lot of country, like upbeat remixes and stuff too. Like I have some country house music in here. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Is that what you enjoy listening to as well?
You know,
Like when you're not DJing, what do you listen to?
oh shit, that's a tough question. Because if I'm not DJing, usually I'm in my library just scrolling through shit. If I bust out Spotify, let's say, it's mostly movie soundtracks.
Interesting.
Like what
So
types of
scores or
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: I can clean my whole house to The Greatest Showman soundtrack. So as of lately, I've been listening to Top Gun 1 and 2 soundtrack.
interesting.
I love that shit, like movie related stuff. But like, I don't know, it just depends what kind of mood I'm in. Like, I'd probably say just like basic pop stuff, really. Just like today's top hits, just put it on in the background. If I'm working out, I'll load up one of my like SoundCloud mixes and just. I know, like I label it like hard as shit, like trap dubstep, and I'm like, okay, like this will get me moving. Or like,
it's a great name for a playlist.
I enjoy listening to a lot of like 70s stuff too,
Okay.
which I don't know a ton of 70s music, but it's like that era, which I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of opened that doorway to me. Because I'm like, what the hell is, like, I didn't even know who Cat Stevens was. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? But then I started listening to him while I was doing house projects around the
I've
house.
been on a Bee Gees kick for about the last couple months.
Yeah.
He was listening to it when I came over the other day.
Okay, I'll fucking mix in Staying Alive for you.
There you go.
Or at least try it.
Have at it.
But yeah, I just try to listen to a little bit of everything. I'd probably say that's my downfall is like I don't listen to like everything like I probably should. Like I'm so out of.
I think that's the open format DJ conundrum or the wedding DJ conundrum is like, how much do you focus on those 10 or 20 bangers that you know are going to go off at any wedding versus like all the new stuff, the contemporary stuff like within the past 2 to 3 years.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I'm all over the place.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I totally understand.
It's my defect. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would like to, like, if someone asked me to play a dubstep set, I would be shit out of luck. I'd be like, what's even hot right now? I don't even know. Like, because I have direct music service where I get all my music from.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't know, like, they don't really have, they got like house bootlegs and like EDM, like house poppy shit. And I'm just like, if I was a DJ, like, let's say Tony was like, hey, Chris, you're on this stage or whatever, it's hard ass dubstep and drum and bass. It's like, I'm gonna have to do some serious homework. Like, okay, like, let's get a set list together and let's do this. And I'd be panicking. I mean, obviously, I would obviously practice it well in advance and be good at it, but that genre, like, I don't really mess with it too much. Trap, I used to mess with a lot. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
But every kid nowadays, if you ask what trap is, Future, duh. And it's like, okay, cool. My trap was something completely different than that.
Sure,
like, I don't. It kind of just bled
that
right
trap
into
from like the early like 20 teens.
Yeah, or even like all the trap remixes. That would be like a top 40 song or like a rap song. Like, I can't tell you how many Migos like trap songs I have that go hard as shit. But then it's like trap to them is basic Future songs like Life is Good. Play that trap song.
Yeah.
Okay, that's trap. Like, shit, I don't even know what genre is what anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
all blended together.
Country is pop.
It keeps happening over and over again. That's the genres evolve into new things, and then they recycle back into the old things that they were, and you never know what they're called anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Crazy.
What about you guys? What's next for you guys?
I don't know.
That's an excellent question.
For me, I'm gonna stop doing weddings. No, like I want to get more into event-based stuff, like one-off. You know, whether it be like I had a birthday party a couple weeks ago, and that was like kind of what opened my eyes to like, man, this is way easier than a wedding. You know, guys, it was a surprise birthday party. It was his 70th birthday, so it's like I had this wide aperture of music because he liked like a lot of modern music, but then all of his buddies that were there, you know, they want to listen to the old 60s, 70s, and 80s stuff. So I was rocking that, and then like some of his kids' friends were coming up, you know, because his kids were like in their 30s, and like, they were coming up and asking for all this stuff. So it was like this really cool experience. And I was like, man, I like this. This is like a good strike zone. You know, pretty wide.
Did you have fun though?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So like me, it's like at a birthday party, like you just said, you can go like Brick House. You can go right, and then you can go right in the First Class by Jack Harlow.
Yep.
And then you can go by Usher. You can play Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. You can, I mean, you're all right in that 105 range. Eminem. I mean, you can go fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what I enjoy. It's like, and then I'll go off the deep end and play like a 50s like trap or like a twerk mix of like Johnny B. Good or some shit. It's like I love throwing curveballs, and like people are like, "Holy shit, that was sweet!"
Yeah, I threw some Beatles in there, and then I even threw some reggae.
Dude, Twist and Shout still that shit goes.
B-Funk says like Twist and Shout like he said, that's just a thing.
Wow.
There's a
It hits.
redrum that Fuse did,
Uh-huh.
FUSE, I believe, and it just like it drops and dun 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 dun, and dude, every time it hits, dude, it just. I played in a set with like Disco Inferno and a bunch of shit, but it's like I also work at the casino a lot.
Yeah.
Which is not my favorite gig, but it's okay. It's not bad.
The pictures look good whenever you're there.
Oh, they look sexy because like
Yeah.
now I got the sexy stuff. But it's more so like I mean I get bitched at there for being too loud too because older people. Some dude in the high limit table last weekend, or not table because they don't have tables there, but the high limit area. He was like, I'd rather not even hear music if this is what he's gonna play. And I was like, one of the bartenders told me this, and I was like, man, like. I started off with like 60s, 70s. I jumped to like today's shit. I went back to 50s. I'm like, at the time he was bitching, I just wasn't playing his music.
Right.
He just wanted to bitch.
Yeah. I'm like, man, go lose your money.
I'd rather hear ding, 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 ding the whole time, right?
Yep.
Fucking moron.
Yeah. Like literally, like I was like, man, people complain though all the time, man. I'm just like, can't you just keep your fucking mouth shut for 2 minutes? Like I love everybody, and I'm like the nicest guy.
Yeah, why
like,
must you be a thief? A joy thief.
Yeah. And it sucks the mood right out of me too. I don't know about you guys, but if someone's like,
Absolutely.
hey, play my song, you don't get to it, and they're like, oh, like you suck
Because you're
like,
trying to work.
terrible, and
You're
it's
trying to work it in,
Yeah.
or there's other requests or whatever.
and it's like I know I'm not that bad, and it's like you just like criticize me, and now I feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like- and then I get defensive, and then I get mad, and then
Yep.
heads start flying. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not aggressive at all.
Spinning back kicks for
I'd
everyone.
rather give you a hug than tie kick the shit out of you. But yeah.
So your turn, Dave. What's
Probably adding some more.
DJ equipment?
I've said this before, so I'm going to get called out by our audience maybe, but adding more live elements to my setup, like keys and synths and things, kind of getting my producer-y side involved again by adding it to my DJing rather than sitting and working on music.
Yeah.
You know, because it's hard to find time to do both right now.
It's which it seems like whenever you sit down and you're like, hey, like if I like, how much time do you actually have in a day? You probably have a little bit of time, but when you think about it, like when you're constantly busy, you're like, I got no time.
Yeah, and I also have another problem where like any time that I would devote to myself as an artist, I usually spend on Passionate DJ.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily feel bad about, but I do acknowledge that it's like, geez, when was the last time I played an actual gig? You know, and so it is something that I would like to play some shows. That's probably a good answer too.
Well, today is your lucky day. We're all gonna play. No.
Tony?
Me, what do I have coming up? Going on the road for about 5 weeks.
Yep.
Nice.
Breakaway
Doing
season.
Breakaway Kansas City, coming back to Kentucky Motor Speedway, doing Interstellar, and then Breakaway Michigan, Breakaway Ohio, 2 weeks off, Charlotte, and Oakland Coliseum.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that, DJ wise, all I do is scratch.
Scratching
Gave
like
up
crazy.
the electronic game.
No, not at all. Like I said, I haven't played since 2017 because of everything you just reiterated.
Yeah.
You know, like I was playing a PSG gig and I was opening for Morgan Page. And there was a whole group of college kids that were watching the opening DJ play, which was all their buddy. He's the one that sold the tickets to them, and he was great. He was playing Jay-Z, you know, all this hip-hop and stuff, and he was great. I went on, and all the kids just cleared the floor. I was like, oh, you know, my buddy was on the dance floor and overheard the kids like, this guy sucks, you know. So I just just the criticism and everything, that's kind of why I backed out. It started giving me anxiety, and I didn't want to deal with it.
It hurts, man.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been doing it for 30 years, and for somebody to not even know what they're talking about, saying that you
To
suck,
criticize you, yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just like I just stepped away from it for a while. But
Well, I know that, and now that we've kind of created a little bubble where we can express ourselves however we want, it's kind of like a lot of times I'm like, oh, I'll just turn on the camera and you know what I mean? It's like do some Passionate DJ stuff, and I don't have to deal with that other than the occasional YouTube comment, maybe. But
That was actually one thing
rarely
that
happens.
held me up during like the whole COVID like Facebook streams. I was like, you know, like if I'm at a bar or club, it's like I'm great DJing, but I was nervous about going Facebook Live because I'm like, shit, like if I mess up, people are just gonna be like, oh, I messed up, terrible, or like let's say something froze or something, and everyone's just like. I was petrified. I was shaking. Like I literally was like doing jumping jacks before I went live on Facebook.
And you were kind of brave too, because you were doing like at lunch.
Oh yeah, I was doing some crazy shit.
It was like when everybody's taking downtime, he was firing up.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a gutsy move, Cotton.
I tell you what, man. I was sitting at the pub at the Green. And there was talks about COVID shutting everything down and the bars are going to be closed. And then it was that Sunday night after St. Patty's Day. So St. Patty's Day was Saturday. It was that Sunday when they got word that, hey, Governor DeWine is shutting down every restaurant at like 9 o'clock tonight and won't be open until further notice or whatever. And I literally looked at my wife and I was like, first thing tomorrow, I'm going live and I'm going to DJ for everybody that's not not working or whatever and just stuck in their house. And I'm like, I'm just going to DJ. And then she was like, babe, you should like put your Venmo out there. And she was like, someone might donate to you or something. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I will. I mean, I'll just be real with you. The first day I made $750. Shit.
Yeah, you were the first person I saw do that.
Yeah. And I was like, and then I'm not,
all right.
I know everybody, which I mean, the second day I made like 200 something. And third day it was like 100 something. And then after that it was like 22, 15, 7, 3. And I'm like,
Facebook, like,
yeah. Fuck
no more.
you,
No
girls.
more.
Yeah. But,
Fuck you, pay me. No more.
fuck you, pay me. But, I forget where I was even fucking going with that shit. But, it was fun while it lasted. But I was, like I said, I was just so fucking nervous. Just, I don't know. I didn't want to like fuck up anything. And
I was scheduling my lunch breaks around your sets, man.
oh, thanks, man.
And that's what people remember are the fuck ups.
Yeah.
That's what they want to talk about. They don't remember how fucking like it's.
Yeah. Like if I have a mess up here at this mix, Tony's gonna be like, hey, like Chris fucked that one up. So, like,
Yeah,
which
but
is fine. It's like,
you
hey,
know what the cool part about that is I have editing.
yeah. So I will say this, and my DJ boss, and I live by this motto a lot, and maybe I do need to test myself a lot, but he says if you don't fuck up, you're not trying.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
it's like if
You know who told us that? Richie Houghton.
Yeah.
so it's like sometimes I'll try to get creative in certain ways, and I'm like, oh
Take
shit,
it out
like
of time, bring
yeah.
it back together.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's no one set way of doing any of this.
Yeah.
You know, it's artistic expression.
Yeah.
Period. And no, I won't criticize you because I don't criticize.
no, yeah, I mean based off, yeah, I mean I won't criticize. When I first started DJing, I thought like I was like this big guy or whatever, and I definitely took a stab at EJ in Dayton. Because EJ was claiming he was the best DJ. I'm like, dog, I've seen you DJ, like you ain't shit. Like, but then like come to find out when I started understanding like the DJ game, and then I got mature because I was really immature when I was 21, and I was like, dude,
We all
okay.
were, yeah.
I was like, okay, like I was a dick, and I told him I was a dick, and then we actually DJed a couple bars together and stuff, and I'm like, okay, like so we crushed that beef, but I'm like, man, I was a dick at first, like I'm sorry, like yeah, so sorry if you're listening out there, yeah. But
Cool. Well, we appreciate you sharing some time with us. Please come back in the future. You're always welcome here.
I will be here tomorrow.
All right.
No, thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it, and
Of course.
hopefully we get to have a little bit of fun here. In a second.
Absolutely.
Yes, please. Show us what you got, man.
I'm shouting about that.
So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share the podcast with everyone, and wash your damn hands.
Keep on spinning.
Keep on spinning. See you guys.
Was that recording?
Mhm.
Oh, thank God. I was looking at that and I didn't see a time going because
Oh.
I'm not used to your app there. And I was like, I hope that's fucking recording.